What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog coming to you from the Early Access event. So thank you, Wizards of the Coast, for allowing myself, along with all the other content creators, an opportunity to participate in the MTG Arena Core 21 Early Access event. Alright, so I was trying to come up with some decks to play in this event, and just kind of ideas for the new meta. One of the cards that I'm fond of is Kaalia, Zenith Seeker. And we got some pretty sweet new cards that are within this realm of Kaalia Zenith Seeker. So just to review, 3 mana, 3/3, Mardu colors, that's red, white, and black, flying to Vigilance, so that's pretty solid right there. And when she enters the battlefield, you look at the top 6 cards of your library, so that's pretty reasonable. You can reveal an angel, a demon, and or a dragon from among them, put them into your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. So you can potentially draw up to 3 cards among your top 6. So you can only choose 1 angel, 1 demon, and 1 dragon. However, we got some pretty neat creatures among those types in the new set. Some returning favorites, and just some cards that seem like they're really good in these colors as well. So I want to kind of take a look at a Kaalia shell and take a look at some of those new cards and just kind of see how that fits in, especially with the removal. A returning favorite to standard play, which is already in historic, but getting to see it in the standard meta, I think it could be interesting. So let's kind of start with the top here. Terror of the Peaks is one of our new cards. 5/4 flying dragon for 5 mana. Spells your opponent cast at target Terror of the Peaks cost additional 3 life to cast. That could be interesting. Some like this would work really well on like kind of a mono red dragons list, which has like lots of burn plus dragons and Skarrgan. Sarkhan, excuse me. No, Skarrgan Hellkite is a pretty sweet card as well. But I think that could be interesting as well. Maybe like a Sarkhan's and Sealing build in Historic. It's another personal favorite of mine. But yeah, it seems like a really interesting card. Obviously, it's probably not competitive considering some of the other things that are out there. It doesn't really do too much when it comes down. If your opponent, is able to kill it and they take 3 life instead of potentially 5, that's pretty reasonable for your opponent. But it does have some nice upside. 5/4 flying for 4 it's okay. Potentially cost your opponent 3 life if they kill it. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So we're pretty mid-rangey. We don't have any stupid powerful creatures that would work really well with this. So there's definitely some playtesting that could be done around this card on the kind of casual side, and that's something I'll probably be taking a look at some point. But just kind of trying to throw something together for the event. Kaalia seemed like it was be really fun. And the other new card here is Baneslayer Angel, and a lot of people are excited about this. Haven't been really looking to see what other people are trying to do with it, but it just seemed like Baneslayer Angel with Kaalia seemed pretty amazing. Trying to figure out how many copies. We're just running 2, just trying to keep it nice and diverse. Unlike Lyra Dawnbringer, she's not legendary, so that's pretty cool. And she also has protection from demons and dragons. So if your opponent has you running something similar, then that could be pretty cool. But a 5/5 flying first strike lifelink is already pretty amazing for 5 mana there. So yeah, we are running, of course, Skarrgan Hellkite as one of our other dragons. Actually, our only other dragon. It's 4/4 5 mana riot flying, so you can either 4 haste or give it a +1/+1 counter. If you give it the counter, it has its active ability for 4 mana to deal 2 damage, divided as you choose among 1 or 2 targets. So that's pretty sweet either way. Aurelia, of course, fits in really well with what we're trying to do. 2/5 flyer for 4. Mentor, beginning of combat your turn. What creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And if it's a red creature, it gains trample. If it's white, it gains vigilance. Of course, Aurelia is both, so she would gain both vigilance and trample, so that's pretty cool. But most of our other creatures are one or the other. Kaalia is the only exception there, and of course she has vigilance already, so it's not too amazing. But we do have some nice synergy with some other cards as well, so we're not. And it really is just a good card all around. Seraph of the Scales is another pretty sweet angel here. 4/3 for 4 mana. Flyer, of course. You can pay white to give it vigilance, or you can pay black to give it death touch. And it has Afterlife too, so if your opponent destroys it, then you get 2 1/1 spirit tokens. That's pretty sweet. Spawn of Mayhem, just a couple copies. Again, just trying to keep it a little bit diverse, and since we are more of a mid-range deck, we're not as aggressive to where we want this upkeep trigger where we deal 1 damage to each player. But definitely could be pretty fantastic in certain matchups. And just a 4/4 flying trample that could be 2 or 3 mana is pretty amazing because it has the spectacle cost of 3. Of course, if your opponent loses life, then it's you can just play this for 1 black. So that's pretty sweet. And then if you have 10 life or less, you do get to put a +1/+1 counter on it. And of course, having trample and flying is pretty amazing. Nightmare Shepherd, though. Now we're talking for a 4/4 demon for 4. Not sure how often we'll use this ability, but it is pretty interesting. Whenever another token creature you control dies, you can exile. If you do, create a token that's a copy, except it's a 1/1 and a nightmare, in addition to everything else. So even if they kill our flyers, if they don't have flying, we at least can exile it and make a 1/1 version of that. That's pretty decent, I guess. Like Baneslayer, all these have a pretty interesting abilities. So I think, obviously Baneslayer Angel, it would still do 1/1 flying first strike lifelink, which could be interesting if you want to have a way to deal with the flying creatures. At least it's something better than just losing it altogether. But Terror of the Peaks, though, it would still keep that ability, so that would be pretty interesting. And of course, Aurelia still has Mentor and the +2/+0 effect, so that's pretty cool. So of course, we're in all 4 copies of Kaalia. And also we're in 3 copies here of Deafening Clarion. Since we are pretty mid-rangey, we need ways of dealing with our opponent's board state. And Clarion seems like a pretty reasonable option. If it's not able to wipe their board, or the 3 damage part isn't too meaningful, just giving all of our creatures lifelink, since we do have some 4 and 5 power creatures. Just giving them lifelink and just getting that life back when we get too low can be pretty devastating for our opponent. And another new card here, Soul Sear. It seems like it's going to put in a lot of work. 3-mana instant speed to deal 5 damage to a creature or a planeswalker, and that permanent loses indestructible until end of turn. So it seems like a pretty fantastic answer for a lot of the gods and things like that are running around out there. So Soul Sear could definitely be more than 2 copies, but we're just going to run 2 to see how that goes, because we do have the Clarion, we do have the Kaalia. And I think 3 Clarion's probably better than Soul Sear, but maybe it should be 2 Clarion, 3 Soul Sear. I'm not really too sure about that. So we'll see how we do with this list. That's 2 Scorching Dragonfires. This is already an existing card that's getting a reprint, so that's pretty cool. In M21, this is an M21 reprint as well. Doing 3 damage to a creature or planeswalker, and if it dies, it exiles instead. So here's one of our returning cards from the Ixalan block, if any of you guys are familiar with that. Of course, sees play in Historic, Humans. It's a fantastic card in those matchups. It is very matchup dependent, but generally speaking, it's at least a decent card. A 1/2 flyer for 2 mana is at least okay, and potentially can steal something out of your opponent's hand. Obviously, they do get that back if they kill it. So if you're up against like a control deck that's running just tons of removal, then it doesn't really matter, because they're gonna have one way to kill it. They're going to have a way to kill it one way or the other, but sometimes it can just kind of tempo your opponent, just kind of steal. Maybe they have a Shadow of the Sky and like a Banishing Light, or you can take the Shadow of the Sky, so they're forced to use the Banishing Light on something, so you can at least buy yourself some more time that way. So Freebooter is always at least a decent card. And what's up? Charming Prince. It works really well, obviously, with Kaalia, being able to exile Kaalia and potentially draw into some more dragons, demons, or angels. And of course, if your Freebooter whiffs the first time, maybe your opponent just has a bunch of creatures in their hand or something, but maybe they draw into a removal spell, then you can exile the Kitesail Freebooter. Of course, Scrying too is always a good ability, and against more aggressive decks, being able to gain life. And depending on the matchup, we don't necessarily mind losing these to Clarion as well. So and just having the Freebooter, a 1/2 flyer for 2 that can potentially trigger Spectacle for the Spawn of Mayhem the following turn could be pretty awesome as well. So some nice little synergies going on. And mana base, we have 25 lands because we are pretty high on getting these 4 and 5 drops down. So we do need, I think you need the extra land. So we're running 25. So pretty mostly black and green heavy. Black and red. So 2 plains, 3 swamp, 3 mountain. We're going to try 3 Godless Shrine, 2 Temple of Silence, 3 Blood Crypt, 3 Sacred Foundry, 2 Temple of Triumph, and we're going to go ahead and run all 4 of the Triumph since we don't have any 1-drops. I'm fine with running a bunch of these. And of course, we can always cycle these later on if we're in top deck mode and we've already got some creatures out, or we need to dig for some creatures. So yeah, we're going to run all 4 copies of this to give us 25 lands, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, up against Beturba. mean, the Temple can scry, and the Sacred Foundry can shock in for a Charming Prince to help us scry for more lands. And once we get to 4 lands, we're in good shape. We do need a second black, second red source, but that's not too much to ask for, and we at least have the Seraph of the Scales, so we just need lands. Temple. Yeah, we'll keep it. We can Sacred Foundry into Charming Prince, and then Temple the following turn. Yeah, we'll scry, just make sure we hit a land drops. So we have all the white we need, so probably don't need that. I think just having an untapped red source. And we could have kept both just to guarantee Terror of the Peaks, but we have enough 4-drops. I think we're okay with just running with what we got, especially if we keep drawing into lands. Then obviously that's going to be bad to keep more lands than we need. So we know we're drawing Mountain next turn, so we'll just drop the Temple and we'll kind of see what our next draw is. We have the 4-drops to follow up with next turn, so probably just looking for some interaction depending on where our opponent is up to. So Sacred Foundry so far, and I'm not sure what's going on. Perhaps they're having connection issues, maybe they're busy talking to their chat. So I'm glad I was able to get the Liliana's Disciples name as my username for this event to match up with my YouTube channel. Our opponent has timed out. Well, Temple. Clarion. They've shown no creatures so far, but Clarion's never a bad card, so we'll keep it. Just a matter of figuring out which 4-drop we want to play next turn. Seraph is the safest. Definitely pretty excited for my first early access event. I applied, but was just a little bit late for the Ikoria release. Fortunately, I had to work today, so I was not able to jump on sooner, but I'm trying to get some games in here at the end of the day. Of course, the event runs until 6 a.m., but you know, some people have to work, so I'm just going to play for a few hours, try out a few different decks, and yeah, just try to have fun with it. Not fun for our opponent timing out. No, you're not supposed to concede, but maybe we should just jump into another match if this continues. I'll just play the Seraph of the Scales, I guess. Find us the 5th land, we can drop our Terror of the Peaks. That would be pretty sweet. I'll absolutely do that so we can get that value from these 4-power creatures. Sleeves are pretty cool. Kind of weird at a glance. It looks like the dog is like on a beach, with just with how blue it is in the background, but he's just like on top of a hill, like a little river back here. It's like this weird armor going on. Little daggers, some arrows. Like some plants of some sort on the other side. Not sure what that's all about. Okay, our opponent lost their connection. That's unfortunate. All right, against X-Taten. We pretty desperately need a 3rd land, but if we find it, I don't trust it. Let's take a mulligan. This we can keep. Do we keep Seraph or Aurelia? That is tough. We have turn 2 Freebooter, and if they don't have a way to deal with it, then we have turn 3 Spawn into turn 4 Aurelia. I guess that's better than Seraph. We do need a 4th land, obviously, to get our Aurelia, so we'll see. Our opponent shocks in. Well, we'll take a look at their hand. So we just opt. There we go. So they get to draw, and we get to take whatever they draw potentially. That's pretty cool. Not really sure what the point of drawing before someone's going to look at your hand is. Oh, that's pretty disgusting. That is disgusting. Okay, so Teamer Reclamation with Teferi. If this were regular gameplay, I would just concede and move on, because this deck is just stupid. Take away Storm's Wrath, taking Dominance. This always buy us some time. So we hit for 1, play the Spawn of Mayhem, but we're still on Storm's Wrath range. But they do need to find. Let's see. They know they have a second red source with Steam Vents, so yeah, they'll be able to do this in 2 more turns. But we still get to hit them for what, 6? The upkeep plus 5. And now by playing a land, they can't just Electro Dominance to our Freebooter. Now this has 5 toughness, so we'll go ahead and play it. Doesn't matter. Swing 7. Down to 9. We got Aurelia still on board. We can follow up with a Kaalia. But they've got Teferi, they got Expansion. So, yeah. These Teamer decks are just nasty. No Reclamation, at least. Alright, we'll attack 4. Let's scry first. Maybe look for something good. That is not what we're looking for, so that is good. Now it's Kaalia. Hellkite, perfect. And we have double red, thanks to that temple. And we're supposed to have the Triome as well. So yeah, we're 5 lands, so we can Hellkite next turn. Storm's Wrath is their main source of removal. I'm thinking Teferi and phase something. They do nothing. Okay, what do you have? Teamer that you can kill Kaalia here. They could have a Brazen Bar, they could have a Mystical Disputes, but we're just gonna go for it. Haste. We're going for it. I think we just go for Aurelia. She can mentor, plus her 5 toughness is going to be harder for them to deal with if most of their interaction is things like Storm's Wrath. Okay, they get to. Oh. That was cute. Okay, so we just got under them, so yeah. Feels pretty good. Alright, human token 0420. I think that's like a glitch. It's not amazing, but we do have 3 lands, all of our colors. We have the Prince that can help us scry. We have some removal here, and then Dragonfire Clarion, and Terror of the Peaks is never a bad card to see. So we will keep. We'll just go Triome into Mountain, into Charming Prince. Against Orion. So this could be pretty nasty. So yeah, we'll lead with Triome. See what our opponent's up to. Another Terror of the Peaks, not what we want to see. So we'll scry, look for lands. Omen of the Sea in response. Sure. Top. Okay, must be nice. We will scry as well. we want to draw 2 more lands here? So we have 2 red sources already, so we'll keep a swamp for an untapped source. And just trust that we'll draw a land here soon. Teferi Time Raveler. Okay.
This isn't a fight you can win. I've got time.
No, definitely want to get rid of that.
Now what?
Well, we get to scry again, thanks to Teferi. Okay. So I'm not sure what they're doing. That could be a new card. Urian is a could potentially come down next turn and blink this guard mage. So let's just get rid of that. I mean, Charming Prince is kind of whatever in this matchup. They have their own. So they'll get to blink that next turn potentially if they find a land. If that's what they're digging for here, they could have another land in hand. They're just slow rolling, depending on what they scry. Top, bottom. Okay, they have the land. And they tap out just to pass priority. So we'll drop Kaalia so we can Charming Prince it potentially next later. Wow. So we have the demon, and now which angel do we want? I mean, they have Shadow the Sky, so we probably want Seraph. And we'll scry another land. And we have tons of 5-drops, 4 and 5 drops, but I don't think we're trying to ramp into 9 lands to play multiples. I think we're just going to have to do what we can. And that's kind of the good thing about Shadow the Sky, is it only kills 1 or 2 creatures at a time. Okay, nothing new from our opponent. Just some cute enter the battlefield stuff. So we'll drop our Terror of the Peak so we can kind of get some of that value going. Yeah, our opponent is so far just looking like a same blink deck that we've seen. Attack 3 Vigilance. They're back to 20. That's cool. Play a second Terror of the Peaks. That's pretty sweet. I mean, if they're running all these creatures, then maybe they don't have Shatter. But seems kind of hard to believe. Okay, so they're splashing Baron and their Urian deck. Cool. Okay, so Glass Casket takes out Kaalia, so no Charming Prince, but you know we have plenty of 5-drops anyway. That will take 6. Well, we're not a match I would play out normally, but early access event, you're you know, just kind of let your opponent do their thing. I mean, they're not doing anything new or interesting, but if it is what it is. It is what it is. You're just playing a Urian Blink deck with 1 new card. Yeah, I don't have any non-creature spells. You have access to the entire library of Arena, and you're playing a Urian deck with 1 new card. Playing a Urian deck with 1 new card. Let's go to the Freebooter because it's a blocker. And swing 5. If they want to trade, I guess we'll take it. They can Guard Mage, Charming Prince. Not the biggest fan of these type of matchups. Your opponent just has these long turns and they're doing all these things, and Urian is just super easy to abuse, especially with things like Thassa. It's like, this isn't ranked play, dude. This isn't ranked play. But I guess if that's their jam, then we'll let them play it out. This is definitely over. Yep. Cool. Thank you for killing me so I don't have to sit around any longer. Alright. Alright, against Jyoji 08. Yeah, the sand seems pretty solid. Temple into Swamp. Freebooter or Dragonfire into Kaalia. Seems pretty good. Or just grind for more lands here. Seraph is decent. We're gonna have one Freebooter, so I think we'll keep digging. Wow, all the Freebooters. Well, let's fire it off. So Kaalia isn't amazing on 3 because you might just be lacking lands to play anything. Okay, so they do have the Elder Gargaroth. It's a new card. Looks like they're just a teamer ramp, but maybe more of a creature based. Yep, Uro's a broken card. I mean, they have 2 new cards. We could Freebooter again. This is a 6/6. It's hard to deal with. We don't have good options here, do we, with our lands? I mean, we could shock in, but then we're stuck on 3 because we have a tap land. Maybe just go for it. Another Seraph. We just use the Clarion just to kind of gain some life. That'll potentially buy us some time. Could kill their Pararush Druid, but that doesn't seem worth it. Baby Godzilla. Maybe it is worth it. Just hitting 4 and then Clarioning their board away. That might actually be worth it. Or we could just Dragonfire the Godzilla. That's probably decent enough. So I don't get that filtering effect. Thanks to the Druid, they do get the Gargaroth this turn though. They found the line anyway, so that's fine. Okay, Terror of the Peaks. They were missing a red source. They had to play the Druid to get it, but then they still have a Grazer. Yeah, that's a combo right there. 0 damage. Okay. I mean, we have our own, which is pretty cool. I think we just go for the Aurelia play. And swing 5. If they want to trade, that's fine. Take the chump. We need Trample, so that's cool. And now they get to deal 6. Any target. Wow, I would not have targeted Kaalia there. Would have gone after Aurelia for sure. But what do I know? Okay, we have a Hellkite. I think we just play it out. Haste. Okay, this does. Oh, that has reach too. God, that's stupid. Yeah, I don't think we can do much. Don't think we can do much. We can attack and Clarion to finish it off, but we're gonna pretty much lose our board. We could reset. We have double Seraph of the Scales to follow up with, plus a Freebooter. What are they at? 3. That's going to allow them to escape, though. I don't think this Growth Spiral really matters at all. We could attack all, just try to get one free from the freebooter, but they probably... this is not good for us. Not good. I guess we just fire it off. So we're gonna get 8 life if they want to, block some stuff. That's cool. They do not. Okay, we'll drop freebooter number 2. Starks. Yeah, we're at 26. They're at 8, but they can escape at Uro. They've got this 6/6 and a 5/4 that's gonna deal a ton of damage to us. So we're pretty dead. We don't have any Shadow of the Skies or anything like that. We're just trying to be the big beefy beatdown deck, but we're just getting out beefed here. We are getting thoroughly out beefed. So yeah, this game is definitely over, but we will play it out. I mean, that's just nuts. Every time it attacks or blocks, it has vigilance, it has reach, it has trample. Man, that card is just insane. That card is insane. I mean, Seraph gives us Death Touch. That's something. If they, but they just target it with Terror of the Peaks, and we're left with a couple 1/1s. So, I guess we're supposed to play it out. So we'll just do things still, I guess. But yeah, we're definitely dead. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Terror of the Peaks with the Elder Gargaroth Uro. But we're we're all in on the Angel, Demon, Dragon archetype. So mutate does not count as entering the battlefield, so that's pretty cool. I mean, they do get to draw something, which maybe that's all they wanted. Oh, that's right. It's an enter the battlefield. So yeah, that was pretty fortunate. It's any permanent, so it could have just been like a land, right? Our opponent's doing things. I mean, I guess we'll block. Don't really want to. I kind of just want to wrap this up because we're just dead. I mean, we can't attack. We need a ton of creatures to get to a point where we can attack, and our opponent's just outvaluing us. This 6/6 is dumb. This 6/6 is dumb. This 6/6 is dumb. This 5/4 is just gonna destroy pretty much everything we play. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Team Remutate with the Gargaroth and Terror of the Peaks. That's pretty nutty. Even Parcel Beast. That seems pretty medium to me, especially in the what the rest of what they're trying to do. Like, it's very slow to kind of look at your hand. Like even like a Migratory Greathorn that's a little bit beefier as a 3/4 seems like it's just better. Or but definitely I think I would run the one that makes beasts. That's definitely a better card than that one for what they're trying to do, in my opinion. Yeah, they're just picking us apart. This isn't even close. This has been a bloodbath. Are you seriously just gonna like attack one by one, dude? Yeah, I'm not blocking. I'm done. You did your thing. That was cool. That was pretty cool to see. Minus 13. That's it. That's the best you can do. Alright, so that deck needs some work, but yeah, but didn't we see Baneslayer Angel was in our hand at one point, but I don't think we got to cast it. And Terror of the Peaks, didn't really get too much value out of that. Seems like our games ended pretty quickly or kind of got out of control. Our opponent had a pretty nice showing of what Terror of the Peaks can do. So yeah, definitely probably revisiting this Kaalia list and kind of trying to refine it a little bit. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting little showcase there. Definitely that teamer list at the end was pretty sweet. Got a ton of value. That Elder Gargoth is just a stupid card, like a questing beast on steroids, basically. And obviously Terror of the Peaks puts in a lot of work in the right build, and they had the right build. You know, Earl's just a dumb card. It's always going to improve your chances to win. So yeah, thanks for watching this one. Until next time, make sure you jank with a purpose.